Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Q&A podcast on Inside the Birds YouTube channel. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Avant. I'm here with my teammate, my homie, friend, Quintin Mikell. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? Happy Halloween. It's that time of year. Lots of candy, lots of football, lots of hot dogs, chili, all the fun stuff, man. I hope everybody have a great day. And yeah, let's get it.
I was scaring the hell out of them kids at launch on Saturday. I got this creepy clown, it's real creepy.
Yeah.
Dude, I was scaring adults, everybody. I was just sneaking up behind them. I made this lady steal her whole food order. Normally people would feel bad about it. I felt pretty good about it. I thought the costume was amazing.
That's awesome, man. That's what it's for, man. Scare the crap out of them.
I ended up getting
them food. Remember.
I'm not a jerk. I ended up getting them more food, but it was fun.
I love it.
All right. So the Eagles, before we let's clean, do some house cleaning. Thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. Make sure you email your questions to insidethebirds@gmail.com. Again, insidethebirds@gmail.com. Also, thank you to Adam and to Jeff and to Greg and to Josh, everyone that's responsible for this show. We appreciate you guys. Check us out, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube channel. Check us out, Inside the Birds. Everything is there. All right, Q. Our Birds, the only 7-1 team in National Football League. Our Birds, best record in football. Are we the best team in football? And are we playing the best right now?
So that's crazy. So I think they are the most complete, and the best team top to bottom in the NFL. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they haven't played their best football yet. So it's really interesting to see because there's a lot of plays, and we'll talk about there's a lot of plays left on the field on all three, aspects of the game, special teams, offense, and defense. And, it's crazy that they're this good. They're 7-1. They haven't even played a perfect quarter yet, which is awesome. So, a lot of improvement to be had. And yeah, man, these guys looking good
Definitely
right now.
Looking good. There are some teams that took a back step a little bit. The 49ers look very, very beatable this week, losing. The Chiefs lose to the Denver Broncos. Talk about the NFL, right? Just any given Sunday. We lose to the Jets. They lose to the Broncos. There's teams that are just getting beat. The Bears go in and destroy the Commanders one game. There's all different types of things that's happening. That same Broncos team lose the Dolphins by 50, put 70 on them, and we beat the Dolphins, right? So you can never measure the NFL. That's the great thing about this sport. But let's get into this game, Q. There was a lot of good things. Jalen Hurts going off, passing for 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, very high completion percentage, protected the football, checked it down, all the things that we've talked about on this show that he needs to do. He did those things. But before we focus on the offensive side of the ball, let's talk about the defense, because the defense gave up 31 points, gave up a lot of points. Yeah. And namely your position group, the secondary. What the hell was going on in the secondary? Let's talk about it. The first question, explain how the Commanders' offensive approach was successful, especially in the middle of the field. Like, what was going on with the secondary?
Yeah, man. So, first of all, Sam Howell, he's actually surprised me. I thought he, the first game we played him, he played well. I haven't really been following the Commanders that much, but obviously when the Birds play him, he was 39 of 52, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's a good day. And I think the best thing that this Commanders team have going for them and for Sam Howell is Eric Bieniemy. He was attacking the middle of the field. Same plays that have been ran for years. Like we've talked about it before, the same offensive concepts, the same West Coast offense, and just to a T, just attacking the middle of the field. And when I look at it, and you take a step back, okay, it's 397 yards, got a young quarterback, okay, but sometimes you got to look at, okay, the play caller. And so the way I looked at it, it was Eric Bieniemy against Sidney Brown, against Reed, against Eli Ricks, against Morrow Cunningham, against N'Kobe Dean, against and then sometimes against Smith, Nolan Smith, because they had him dropping in the coverage as well at times, right? And so when you look at it like that, if you break it down to that point of view, right, you got a seasoned veteran play caller attacking all these young guys. There's probably less than a total. I mean, the highest experience is probably what, 3-4 years in the league.
They don't have 10 years combined.
Exactly. So you got a veteran play caller, guy that's been around the league, that knows what he's doing, and he's attacking these young guys. Okay. And the thing that to me that is the biggest disappointment is we're seeing the same route concepts over and over again each week. We're seeing bunch sets. We're seeing crossers. We're seeing seam routes. We're seeing the same type of route concepts. Now they are doing it. They are window dressing it and showing it and attacking in different ways. But I'm still not seeing the growth out of those underneath players. They're not getting their hands on these routes when they're releasing. They're not understanding, hey, if I'm dropping into a hook curl and number 2 goes across the field, he's doing that to pull me out of that area. So I think that's the biggest disappointment for me is I'm not seeing any growth in the underneath players, and I'm not seeing them recognizing route concepts and really understanding what the offense is trying to do to attack them, right? The biggest thing, and I don't want to go too long, but the biggest thing that helped this team, especially in the second half, and I think Sean Desai does a phenomenal job at making halftime adjustments. I think the biggest thing is he started to get Sam Howell uncomfortable by doing a lot of in-breaking stunts. Like Sweat, a lot of times in the second half was just tech stunt, like just getting right up in his face and making them uncomfortable, collapsing the pocket. And I think that's really what helped them in the second half. They went to a little more zone, a little bit tighter coverage, and then making the quarterback uncomfortable by getting him a little bit off his spot and collapse in the pocket.
Yeah, so I agree with you totally. I think that our secondary and the second level in general these young group of guys, Sidney Brown, I believe that Sidney Brown can be a very good safety, and I like his aggressiveness to the line of scrimmage. He made some plays in the run game, and he wanted to make tackles. You love that. He's a tough player. He's fast. He's a lot of things. What he isn't is a guy that can cover a receiver. And I believe that we put him in a bad situation. And that's on Sean Desai. And also Eli Ricks. Eli Ricks is aggressive toward the line of scrimmage. I just don't think that he's an adequate skill player to fend off the type of NFL receiver. We saw Reed Blankenship on receiver at times. We saw Kevin Byard on receivers at times. There was a bunch of mismatches there. We even saw N'Kobe Dean and Morrow matched up on receivers at times. So I believe that, like you said, Eric Bieniemy had our number, understood how to attack the weakness of our defense, which is that second level. That group of players are so young, and I can go back to individual plays, and there's always mistakes on third downs, on touchdowns. There were just unforced error mistakes and not understanding leverage, not understanding route principles and concepts. For an example, let's get to Terry McLaurin. This is an outside guy. Terry McLaurin's first touchdown. James Bradberry bites on a handoff read, and he's in cover 4. You have no responsibility. You're outside corner. Why are you looking in the backfield, and who are you going to go and tackle? You haven't tackled well all season. Yeah. Right? You're going to go make a tackle and there's other guys inside of you. Like, what are you looking at the quarterback for? And why are you biting on a quarterback run fake? He didn't pump at you or anything. All he did was just put the ball in the running back's lap and then you bid up and it caused a Terry McLaurin touchdown.
Yep.
Like those types of things just shouldn't happen. All right, the second touchdown, Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown is in cover 3. And because you're in the red zone, seam routes are the number one thing that you're going to run in the red zone as offense, right? So you can't play traditional cover 3. Reed Blankenship has the hook flat area. So you have to carry number 2. And he doesn't carry number 2 and just blows the assignment and leaves a guy wide open. That's something that we can correct. That happened. So that's 2 plays right there. The third touchdown, Logan Thomas, right, catches a slant route. They are bracketing Terry McLaurin up at the top, Kevin Byard, and I believe it was Darius Slay. They're bracketing Terry McLaurin up top, right? That puts everybody else in zero coverage, meaning that you can't get beat inside. The only place that you can't get beat is inside. Reed Blankenship is continually expanding as this guy is not going outside, he's going vertical. But for some reason, he's getting happy feet trying to beat him to an out when the only place you cannot get beat is inside. He overplays it, guy goes underneath, you're not fast enough after a stick, couldn't get there, touchdown. Like each one of these plays, like every third down, every touchdown that happened was because it wasn't like, okay, this was a great scheme play. No, it was because of something that we didn't recognize. And I can tell you, as far as what you're talking about, and I'm beating this up a little bit, we don't carry guys to the next zone. You're supposed to reroute guys, cover them and carry them to the next defender, and then you get back in your position. And also understand, if a guy is going to sit right in front of me, there's somebody right behind me. He's trying to get me to come up, right? So I would rather you catch the ball in front of me than give it up behind me. And for some reason, we just like coming up and biting the first thing and the ball is right behind us. I don't understand it. And then we blitz at times from 6 and 7 yards away. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I can go on on the defense, but this is things that are very, very, it was dismal, right? I didn't say abysmal, I said dismal. I believe that there's a hope. When you think of abysmal, you think of the abyss where there's no hope, right? It's dismal. It's something that was just bad execution. You can learn from it, you can correct it, but we definitely got to get better.
Absolutely.
Sorry, that was I was long-winded right there.
No, that's fine.
Gosh.
Yeah, no. And another thing that was a little disappointing too, and we talked about like with the young guys are needing to gain more experience and understand stuff, right? But on the one play that you highlighted with Sidney Rice not carrying was also Bayard. Is it Bayard?
Yeah, Bayard, Kevin Bayard.
Bayard, okay.
Bayard.
As a veteran safety, right, on that route, they pulled him out of the middle of the field.
Bayard.
Right. So
go ahead.
Bayard.
Yeah.
He gets pulled out of the middle of the field. And on the one hand, I could say, you're a veteran safety. You got to know if you're in the middle post, if they're sending someone across your face, there's somebody else coming back. And so you can say that as a veteran guy, I think moving forward, he'll be able to stay in place and be able to help on that seam that Sidney Brown dropped.
What you're saying is that even if he would have carried him, he was going to be outside leverage of him. He still has a throw because it was so far over.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. And that's one of those things where I'm like, okay, maybe it's, a veteran safety. Maybe he's still learning the defense. Maybe he's still understanding, hey, this guy, as a young guy, he might not carry that like he's supposed to. So I'm holding out hope on that. And then, hoping that those guys, especially veterans like that, they can, hey, I need you to carry that. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Because that's what you're brought in here for, to be that presence to help these young guys kind of develop and get better. So I agree with you on that.
Q, if I see another 3-by-1, and we just lose a dude on third down, I'm like, listen, like at least be close to the guy. All you got to do, listen, here, this is it. You lock the point and you play in and out with the other two guys. do it like that until you can figure something else out.
Yep.
But you cannot lock all of them. That's a bad. It's bad. You can't. You cannot lock you. And so for you guys that don't know, when you have a 3-by-1 bunch, right? There's a guy at the point, there's a guy left, and there's a guy right. Those guys are going to do something like this when they do that, right? They're going to switch positions. So you want to put the guy on a point, keep the guy on him, and man-to-man coverage. And the two guys are one inside, one outside. Whoever breaks left, the guy that's over there goes with them. Whoever breaks right, the guy that's over to the right breaks with them. The only thing that you can do in that situation is play as tight as you can and hope for the best. But at least you don't go and get beat right away.
Yeah. Shoot, that fourth down play they went for it in the first half. Did you watch that on all 22? There was a guy. So the play, it was like fourth down, and Howell threw it away from the 3-by-1 side. Yeah. And he got knocked down by, I believe, Slay. Mm-hmm. There was a dude like 30 yards down the field, scot-free with no one by him. And I'm like, bro, every week it's the same, like the same formations are attacking or getting attacked, and guys get scot-free wide open. So it's a little frustrating.
Pringle had one early in the game on Slade where he turned him around, looking in the backfield. Mm-hmm. Missed it. We missed it because we got pressure, but he missed it. You know what I mean?
And I think
we gotta do a lot. We gotta do a lot better. We're not playing the best in secondary right now.
And I think that's part of why that's happening is our D-line is so good that they're so used to getting the ball out so fast. They're trying to jump routes. So, we'll get there. Just gotta understand that the D-line ain't gonna get there every time.
Yeah. Let's keep moving. Like we talked about, the Ricks and Slade. We kind of covered a bunch of that. I just want to ask you one more question about this. Sam Howell. Is it because what made you impressed by him? And also he was able to get the ball out. The defensive line pressure was pretty much non-existent. 1 sack for 9 yards. It wasn't really 1 sack. I would say Hassan got 2 sacks because he got the intentional ground. That rule right there makes me mad. That should be a sack, man. Yeah. If you make a dude get a intentional ground and you the closest guy to him, that should be your sack. That's I don't like that rule. But anyhow, I would say 2 sacks, one on paper. Now, what do you think about this, Sam Howell in his play? Was he getting the ball out quick, or are we just not getting home?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't getting home. I think that coupled with a very good game plan, and he was throwing the ball on timing. I mean, it's easy to do when there's no collisions, there's no reroutes, but he still was accurate. He still was.
Explain what a reroute is so they can understand it.
So, yeah, a reroute is if I'm, let's say I'm a number 2 receiver, right? I always come from the outside in. So if I'm a number 2 receiver, right, and I'm running down the seam, the middle of the field, and I have a linebacker underneath that he might be in man, or most of the time he's in a zone type of coverage, right? So he's dropping to his hook curl area, right? And as he's getting into his area, any receiver that's in his area as he's dropping to his respected area, he's got to get hands on him, right? And it doesn't have to be a whole lot. You don't have to stone him, right? You just want to get your hands on them and hit them and bump them out and make them go behind you, right? That's the biggest thing. And a lot of people think a reroute is, like pressed coverage. And really, it's a body position also with your hands on them. And so what that does is that it makes this receiver, instead of him running a straight path down towards the safety, now if I'm a linebacker, now this receiver, he's got to go around and behind me, right? And what that does is that keeps it in the air. It makes him go towards the safety, right? So now the safety is in better coverage and he can see this guy. So a lot of times, and this happened often in the game, our linebackers were dropping so fast that the receiver was coming underneath and then running slants, or they were coming underneath and getting vertical.
Not getting touched.
Not getting touched. And by the time you realize it is a safety or a behind player or even a linebacker on the other side, the ball is completed, right? So, it comes with experience, and I think they're need to help themselves out by understanding what offenses are trying to do, and that comes with experience.
Yeah, they need to go and look at all the Jets tape, all of it. Look at the Jets. Look at the Jets play zone defense. You would think they're in man half the time because those guys are great at rerouting. And what rerouting does for an offensive player is frustrating because it throws you off the time and rhythm of the quarterback. The quarterback is expecting you to be in one spot and is going to take you an extra step or two to get there, which is all a defensive line needs because that turns the play into 2.5 seconds to the ball is thrown rather than 2.3 seconds that the ball is thrown. That's a big difference. That's a tip of an arm. That's a deflected ball. That's something. And also it puts the safety in better position, like Q said, in order to be able to break on the ball. Like if I'm in cover 4 and I got a basic and that safety has me man-to-man number 2, if I get a reroute and the guy makes me go outside, now when I'm going inside, the safety's in better position than me, right? So like little things like that can help the defense out, and we're not doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Right, we can go right into the offense, but before we get to the offense, I want to tell you guys. Go ahead. You got a question?
I gotta say this because I gotta say my piece because I just watched the All 22 and one of the questions that
it came out early today too.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Oh,
All 22 came out early today.
One of the things that's really, really confusing, and I don't want to attack him, or maybe he's got something going on, maybe there's some family issues, maybe he was ill, but I don't know what's going on with James Bradberry.
Oh my gosh! I was going to avoid it. I'm avoiding it. Go ahead.
Like the thing that's the most disheartening to me is that he seems like he doesn't even like he cares. And I don't want to put that on him, but for me watching the tape, it feels like he doesn't even want to be out there. And that's really sad because I think he's a good player. And I think he can help this team. But I was watching him and he looks like he's just jogging out there at times. He looks like when, there's a pass coming his way or running back coming his way that he doesn't want to tackle. He doesn't, at times it just looks like he's just going through the motions. And so I don't want to put that on him, but I get this weird vibe that he's unhappy for whatever reason, or there's something else going on. And, he's a guy that we're going to have to rely on because he got attacked a whole lot in that game. He's someone that we need to, as a team, he's going to be a big part of whether or not they're going to be successful or not. So, I'm hoping that, he can pick it up and seem to get back in the flow and, seem like he's ready to play. I just think there's something weird going on with that. And I can't put my finger on it, but I've never seen a cornerback that just looks so disinterested throughout the entire game. It's really frustrating.
I'm not saying nothing, Q. I always get in trouble when I say something. I'm gonna let you say it this time. You take the bullets, Q.
I'll take the bullets.
Yeah, you take the bullets, Q.
I got my 50 cent.
I got it. I got it on me. Yeah. No, so I'll say this. They are attacking them in the pass game, not just the Dolphins. Every team that's coming out, they're definitely okay with throwing the ball at them. That's okay. You can bow up. That's fine. What you can't do is put a reluctance to come up and tackle on tape. You can't keep doing it. Not in this league. Not in this league. Guys are making too many yards after catch. Running backs are running at you too, and there was a play in there that was just as awful of a play that you can see a corner can make. A guy was right next to him, running through, and he pulled back his arms.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can't do it. It looked like he didn't want contact. And I like James as a player. I think that he can play this game at a high level, and he's done a lot of great things for us. He has some deficiency with speed down the field. That's okay. If you're good at the line of scrimmage, there's a bunch of guys that played this game that didn't have top end speed that play corner. But it's very, very hard when you get them in that situation because they're so good at the line of scrimmage. He has to get better at being at the line of scrimmage and getting hands on, but you cannot put on tape that you don't want contact because they don't go anywhere in this league. When they smell blood, they attack you. So you got to put better on tape when it comes to that. That's all I say.
Good word.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, that's real.
All right.
Because it's going to keep happening.
It's going to keep happening. All right, you guys, make sure you check out the Inside the Birds platform and all of our shows. You got to check out the new show, Inside the Tape, that airs on Thursday with my man, Greg Cosell, that you see with me and the guys on the pregame show. Also, our former teammate, Clay Harbor, there with the analysis, the muscle shirts. He's there. Check him out. Ladies, just go in. He was part of the Bachelors. Go check him out, man. Go check him out. And but that aside, he does a great breakdown. Him and Greg, they break down the tape and show you the insights of what's going on. So make sure you check out Inside the Tape with Greg Cosell and Clay Harbor that airs every Thursday.
Hey, it's Jeff Mosher. I love the fall because football's back, but it's also my busiest season. Between work, kids going back to school, youth sports and activities, there's just not enough time, especially to make a good home-cooked meal. That's why I love HelloFresh. They deliver farm-fresh food with pre-proportioned ingredients and seasonal recipes right to my doorstep. No more wasting time at the grocery store because America's #1 meal kit helps make home cooking easy, efficient, and affordable. We don't waste time researching new recipes and planning meals. With HelloFresh, the shopping's already done. The perfect amount of ingredients arrive with step-by-step recipe cards. How efficient is that? Plus, HelloFresh saves you time and money. HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout, so you'll get a home-cooked meal without digging deep into your wallet. Don't forget about taste and selection. HelloFresh makes food for meat lovers, seafood lovers, vegetarians, and those who love variety. My personal favorites are the spicy Creole stew and pecan-crusted trout, 2 dinners my whole family enjoyed, and we actually had time to sit down together and eat at the table. Go to HelloFresh.com/50Eagles and use the code 50Eagles for 50% off plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/50Eagles. Use that code 50Eagles for 50% off plus free shipping. Act now for America's #1 meal kit.
Hugh, it's on you.
All right, let's get it. Let's talk about it, man. Your man, A.J. Brown. Woo! He became the first receiver, and this is awesome, man. And we talked about the first receiver in NFL history, became the first receiver to have 6+ 125-yard games. Is he playing better than anyone else in the NFL right now?
Oh, Tyreek Hill's playing at a historic clip too now.
True.
And any other year, you would say yes. But Tyreek Hill is skinning the cat a different way. I think that AJ's more sustainable because there's going to be times where teams are not going to let you get behind them, and you got to catch some of those tough, difficult passes. You go up and out athlete a guy. So I believe it's 1A and 1B with those two guys. They're doing it a different way, but he's definitely playing and putting himself in MVP conversation. If his touchdowns kind of exponentially increase over the next couple of games where he's in that 11, 12, 13, touchdown range, in the next couple of games, and he's only at 5 now, say the next 4 or 5 games, and you got to start, putting him there. But I think in order for a receiver to win it, you got to be close to 20 touchdowns.
Ooh.
I think you have to be. Just to be honest, because they don't give it to receivers. They don't give it to, positions like that. When was the last time a receiver won the MVP?
Was it Megatron? That's the only I can guess on Megatron or
I don't think
Jerry
Megatron
Rice
won MVP. They probably back in Jerry Rice time.
Oh
I don't know. Get on that for us, Jeff. If you got it, let us know, because I don't know when the last time a receiver won. I know they've won some Super Bowl MVPs, but it's definitely a long time ago. It probably would go back to Jerry Rice.
Ooh, that's crazy.
So it's been a long time. So it's not a receiver award. So that's why you got to have like this out of the ordinary, like just super, special season in order to do it. So I think that it'll take a miracle. So for some reason they don't realize that the quarterback can't do it by himself. And that's a different gripe that I have. But let's get back on AJ Brown. AJ Brown, big, strong, fast. We know that he's subtle at the line of scrimmage. He's playing with ultra high confidence right now, and they're giving him a shot even when they don't supposed to. They gave AJ Brown a fade ball in 22 man. That is a no-no. You never do that. You may throw a seam between the safeties with underneath coverage, but you never throw an outside go ball with 22 man. And they did it right before halftime, and he went up and got it. That's something that's ill-advised that nobody's going to tell you to throw it. But A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts have that type of relationship. He's fighting for the ball, and A.J. Brown's making plays and getting people fired out there. Boy, St. Juice don't want to see A.J. Brown for a long time after this game because he was giving him the blues most of the game. And then Forbes came back in and gave him a little bit of, I gave you this last time. Get off me, young boy, right? So he is out there playing like a monster, out there playing like he got superpowers from somebody there. So he's playing definitely angry, but he's subtle, great contact balance, runs through stuff, and he just plays the game big. He plays it more aggressively than other people, and that's what you see. He's a competitor, wants the football, and he talks a game, and he walks it, baby. AJ, if you gonna say something, baby, you go out there and prove it like that, baby. That's what I'm talking about. If you gonna back it up, I like it. Keep balling, baby.
Hey, he backing it up, man.
Keep balling.
He is. He's man. I'm just glad I ain't have to go against him. Dude is a beast, man.
You know what? You would think, because we talked about this, you would think that his bulk would limit him, but it doesn't. Like, he's a big, like, strong Mississippi pulling cows, just doing farmer activities type of strong dude, right? So, but it doesn't hinder him when it comes to flexibility, doesn't hinder him when it comes to subtleness at the line of scrimmage. And he can win without doing release moves because they bounce off of him, which is definitely an added bonus. So that's what I said about AJ Brown.
Yeah, serious. All right, let's move on to the guy that his best friend. All right. How do you think? So I know, Jalen's hurt. Well, technically, I don't know if it's out there yet, but he's got the knee injury. How do you think he played, even though he had the injury and dealing with that?
I want to say, I'm not going to say it's his best game of the season, but it's close because he had a really good game. He had a really good game versus the Commanders last time. So I don't know what it is with their team. He had a really good game versus Commanders last time. But it was definitely one of his better performances of the year. And the thing that he did was get the ball out of his hand, Q.
Yeah.
He was checking the ball down in his 2-minute drive right before halftime, getting the ball to Gainwell in the flat as quick as he could. When you give the guys the ball at the right opportunity before the linebackers are at the top of their drops, they have better chance to run after the catch. They have better chance to pick up first downs. And he was anticipating throws, throwing it over the middle of Devontae Smith in that drive right before halftime. Right, there's a lot of things that he did that was positive for most of the game. The only mistake that he pretty much made was the fumble at the goal line. That was the only mistake that he made, and definitely has to clean that up. But he played a really solid game and played it, understood what he was seeing, anticipated throws, got the ball out of his hands, got sacked twice. One, Hill ran him down. It looked like it was his knee. He wasn't at full speed at all.
Yeah.
And so you definitely can see that. You can definitely see that he was hurting. But I thought it was his best game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and
or not best game,
but
one of his best games of the year. Go ahead.
Yeah. The only thing I was going to add to that was, I was really impressed with his movement in the pocket. he at times in the past, in some of those plays, you know, he might be taking a sack or he might just take off and leave the pocket. But his movement in the pocket was really good. I mean, they could never seem to capture him in the pocket. And I could tell that's what they were trying to do. And kind of capture him in the pocket and force him to make a bad throw or force him into, a sack or force him into an interception. And he just played with poise, man. He kept his eyes down the field. He delivered the ball on time. He delivered the ball with accuracy. The ball was flying off his hand. I mean, to me, I agree, this is one of his best games. And, it's so disheartening, especially, as a play caller, when you think you got the right coverage, you got the right pressure, and the quarterback is just so good. He just avoids everything and then throws a strike down the field. I mean, this was a phenomenal game on his part.
For the love of the game, please, receivers. There was two third down plays where they called a screen and they got the right look, but we missed blocks. That's a mentality. That's a want to. That's a not being nice. That's a dog mentality that we're going to get this first down if I'm out there. This screen going to get started, right? One time it was Devontae Smith and Lamade Zaccheaus. Don't get many balls, right to left. There's only one guy out there. The guy beat him. Can't happen. The other time it was Devontae Smith that caught the screen. It was A.J. Brown. Like, those are perfect plays on these 3rd and 4s and 3rd and 5s because they're blitzing and you get them out there and y'all let one guy wreck it. You can't do it, man. Like, and if Julio has to get in there and do it, but you got to bow up. And it can't be one of those little soft blocks where the guy is taking, you getting half of him, he's still pushing you like sideways and down toward the ball. Like, no, stone him. Don't let him get anywhere. He should be going in the opposite direction. Make that happen, and that's going to take the team a long way. So I don't know what it is, and we got to address our secondary, our skill position players. They're not playing the game when the ball is not. AJ Brown attacks the ball, but when it comes to run block, all that stuff is a mentality. When it comes to tackling, all that stuff is a mentality. Be the tougher team. Make teams say, you know what? This team here, they're gonna knock your freaking head off when they come out here. And that's run blocking, that's tackling. Like, those are the teams that you respect at the end of the day. When we used to play the Steelers, I knew Ron Clark was gonna come down and try to knock somebody's damn head off. I knew it. I knew Palomalu. I knew. I already had made peace of it in my mind. I already had made peace with it. I'm going over the middle. Palomalu's going to be over there. I'm going to catch the ball. I know I'm going to get hit. I already made peace.
Hines Ward, he was going to block.
Yeah. That's the way. And you know what? Team said that about us.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lunch pail team.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most respectable things that you can have said about you in the National Football League. So don't just, not the glory and the touchdowns and the interceptions, man. Do the little things and be tougher than people. Trust me, the Cowboys this week don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be a finesse Eagles team. There's no such thing in Philadelphia. There's never been one.
For real.
All right. I ain't gonna keep on my horse.
No, that's good. That'll bring us right into our next part. Why did the run game not spring? Right? What's going on with the run game?
You know what?
Do you think Gainwell gets too many carries?
Oh.
I mean, he only had 2.
So he had more carries. But here's the thing. Quintin Gainwell is going to be the 2-minute back. And we were in 2 minutes. And he got a lot of touches in that 2 minute time. They weren't carries. They were like short passes, things like that could look like. So, but he touched the ball a lot. And then in the red zone, we always had Quintin Gainwell in the red zone because of last year, his red zone production and scoring touchdowns down there was very, very high. This year, the same success isn't happening, right? So I can't say that he shouldn't get those carries. You got to give people an opportunity. And I think that the load on one person the entire season is just too much, especially at that position. So you got to break off and divide the carries. Yeah, should it be way more swift? Of course. Do we need a bigger back? Probably, especially if you're not going to play Penny. So you probably need some money. I'm not saying that you go out and get Derrick Henry because I think that's a waste of money and waste of contract. But I think there's definitely suitable approaches to getting a bigger running back in order to get that done. That LeGarrette Blount type of running that helped win the Super Bowl here. So I think that's good. But the offensive line got handled when it comes to the run game.
Yeah.
It did. We averaged 2 point something yards a carry, 2.7, 2.9. The offensive line got handled this game when it came to the run game. And check this out. Those are guys that do this. Payne and Allen, they do this. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough sledding in this game to run the ball. And that's what makes the Commanders a little bit tough because the Commanders can make you one-dimensional because they can stop the run with those two guys inside. They can stop the run with them. So it kind of makes you one-dimensional, but Jalen did a good job of not turning the ball over when it comes to interceptions or fumbles and besides the one in the goal line, but did a good job for most of the day. And if you're going to turn the ball over anywhere, you want to turn the ball over with them to have 97, 98 yards to go.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say that the offensive line is not blocking the same as it was last year. Just not. And that comes to repetition, though. I think we're more likely to abandon the run game because of the weapons we have outside too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We got a few injuries. I think was Zapata went out the game. Did we know what?
Yeah. So So what?
Steen came in.
Steen came in.
Yeah.
So we're injuries there, and Opeta is a backup. So now we're playing with our third back with our our second backup in there.
Yeah. Oh, Opeta did go back in. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like those are things that happen. We don't have Cam Jurgens right now, so they're still getting it together, and teams are figuring out different schemes in order to make us work. Jalen is not running the ball the same, doesn't have the same twitchiness, doesn't have the same explosion because of injuries. So there's a bunch of things on why it isn't working. But the guys in this game, we got handled. We got handled on both sides of the ball when it comes to running. The defensive line got handled this game.
Yeah.
But when it comes to run and pass, but run not so much. They got most of their yards on one play. But the pass for sure, the doggone Commanders look like the 93, 94 Cowboys. When it comes to pass protection.
All right, let's go one more before we go to before we move on. All right. So
okay.
I didn't realize this, but the Eagles are tied for the 6th most giveaways.
Yes.
We have a -3 turnover ratio. You think they can overcome that in the last 7 to 8 games?
So we're in the bottom of the league when it comes to turnover ratio. Basically, that's what that's saying. And we've been able to overcome it because we're super talented. We got a bunch of competitive guys that know how to win football games, but this can only last for so long. It will not be able to be sustained through a whole season. This is an anomaly. What you're seeing now is something that never happens in NFL history. So what that means is that the tide will change at some point during the season, and it will not change in our favor if this continues, right? So stats are going to even themselves out. So we have to go ahead and nip this in the bud now and become a team that protects the football and turns it over. So speaking about a few things, one, we're not getting turnovers at a high rate on defense, right? And then two, we're turning the ball over way too much. But here's the thing that's saving us is that our defense are doing a great job. They're doing a great job in sudden change situations.
Yeah.
Sudden change situations is when the offense turned the ball over. The defense is normally holding the guys from not scoring touchdowns, and our defense is keeping us alive in these scenarios, in these situations. So I will give them a bunch of credit for that. That's the reason why we're staying alive in these situations, because a lot of people aren't capitalizing on these turnovers.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about this stretch, I mean, got the Cowboys, got the Chiefs, got the Bills, Niners, Cowboys again, and the Seahawks in this next 7-8 games. So, yeah, we definitely need to get that cleaned up because it's going to be a rough sledding if we don't.
Yeah, we got to. There's no other way. There's no other way in order to be a Super Bowl champion, in order to beat these teams. Got to protect the football. Got to, and that's something that has to be. It can't just be right now. Here's the thing about Philadelphia: like when you have a players coach and you have a guy that's so for the players, they work really hard, right? They love Sirianni, and I love Sirianni. I love everything that he represents. I think there's just a bunch of comfortable players, when you have a players coach. This is the things that kind of can make you overlook it. When you got an asshole as a coach, you feel like you're going to get fired if you drop the ball, which is you're going to be more reluctant to do it, right? So if you start getting your playing time messed up, or you start getting reprimanded for it, you'll protect the ball. And this is where Sirianni can kind of implement something that will get the attention of the guys, not losing them, trying to be hard, but something that lets you know, like, we're serious about protecting the football. You're not going to play if this going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I like it.
There it is. There it is. I will say this is that you guys make sure that you check out Launch Trampoline Park, Deptford, New Jersey. My spot, we got everything. We got laser tag, rock wall, birthday party, slam ball, ninja warrior course, everything. We got it. Just come on by. Launch Trampoline Park in Deptford, New Jersey. Make sure you're checking us out. There's a few things, Q, that I want to talk about before we kind of exit out of here. Was there one more question we had, Q?
Yeah, this is about the trade deadline, but we can just roll.
We kind of talked about that.
Yeah, we good.
I want to talk about a few things before we exit out of here, before we depart. I think that there's a few things that we have to do better. And I think Seth Joyner said that the formula that's happening right now is not sustainable, because the Eagles are very, very, they easily give up on a run game and put it in Jalen's hands. I don't think that that's a bad thing if Jalen's going to play like this, right? Protecting the football, because remember, these little dink and dunk check downs, those are just like a run play to me. Like a run play. Right. So there was a bunch of those this game, a bunch of those. So I don't agree with Seth when it comes to that. I think that it has to be a intentional, though. I don't think that anybody you shouldn't just give up on it. I think you consistently do it. And I don't think the Eagles gave up on the run game this game. I thought that they ran it pretty much the entire game. They tried to, at least, wouldn't get as many yards on it. So that's one thing. Then there's a few plays, Q. Few plays. Julio Jones scores his touchdown.
Yeah.
Wasn't that great to see? I was watching the game and I was like, who is Julio Jones just scored a touchdown? I'm like, who is 80?
He looked good too, man.
Wasn't that great to see?
He looked young,
and it was
spry.
A tough contested catch too.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I was like,
full circle. I still remember Them throwing the when he was with Atlanta, with the Super Bowl run, they threw the corner route to him in the end zone and knocked it down. Now he's catching touchdowns for the Birds. So came full circle, man. Went from the enemy to now we cheering them on, baby.
Cheering them on. Listen, did you see how happy the team was when he caught the ball? Like, there's clips of everybody just like sprinting. Like they were just they're in their motion, and they saw it was who they started sprinting toward him. So they just talk about the type of player that he is in the locker room and sacrificing and all the respect that he has. So that was a great moment. Absolutely. For me. That was a great moment. Seeing Smitty get acclimated and back in the groove was encouraging. That distraction touchdown by Olamide Zaccheaus. She just ran at the cornerback. I'm like, what is this corner doing? And just stops. I usually cover 3. Like, what are you doing?
that was a blown coverage if I ever seen one, but
that
was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Yeah. So those are some things I wanted to talk about, the Julio thing, because that's pretty encouraging.
That's awesome, man. You love to root for guys like that, man, and you hope that it ends with him getting the ring, man, because he deserves it.
Listen, the team on their way. They got to clean up a little bit in the secondary, clean up some stuff, and some turnovers. We're good.
That's it. So what you're saying is, again, this is our year. We're halfway through. All right.
Dude.
We thought maybe in the beginning, but now it's starting to come.
Well, we go to Super Bowl. I'm gonna be in Vegas I'm gonna be in a strip in Vegas like this. Stop. Have a time. Kicking it.
Man, Eagle fans in Vegas. Oh my God, it's gonna
oh my
be crazy.
God. Oh my gosh. I'm being a spear first day.
I want to see that thing, man. I want to see it in person.
They keep playing like this, we got a good shot.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, you guys, that's the Q&A podcast. Make sure you check us out. And thanks to Adam, Jeff, everyone that's responsible. We have a blast doing this. Hope you guys learn something. I always learn something from Q, and we learn from each other. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check us out next time. Q, you got the last word. Until next week, fellas, ladies and gents, again, enjoy Halloween. I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week.